Picture this. You're sitting across from her at dinner. The bill comes. She doesn't even glance at it. She's scrolling through her phone, laughing at something someone else sent her while you reach for your wallet for the fourth time this week. You tell yourself she's just going through a tough time. You tell yourself she appreciates you. You tell yourself this is what a real man does. But deep down, in that place you don't want to acknowledge, you feel it. Something's off. Something's been off for a while now. You're not her partner, you're her ATM. And the worst part? She's trained you so well that you'll defend her to anyone who dares to suggest it. Men, let me be brutally honest with you. There are women out there who have turned financial manipulation into an art form. They don't rob you at gunpoint. They don't need to. They use something far more effective. Words, specific phrases, carefully crafted sentences that bypass your logic and tap directly into your ego, your guilt, and your desperate need to be seen as a provider. And while you're busy trying to prove you're man enough, she's calculating exactly how much she can extract before moving on to the next guy. Now, I'm not saying every woman does this, but the ones who do, they follow a script. And today, I'm going to decode that script for you. I'm going to show you the 3 exact phrases a woman will use when she's secretly using you for money. Not the obvious red flags, not the blatant demands. These are the subtle, sophisticated lines that make you think it was your idea to empty your wallet. By the end of this video, you'll recognize the game, and more importantly, you'll know how to stop playing it. But before we dive in, do me a favor. If you've ever felt like a woman was more interested in your bank account than your heart, hit that like button. Subscribe to this channel because we're going to keep exposing these patterns that nobody else wants to talk about. And drop a comment telling me your story. How long did it take you to realize what was happening? Your experience might save another man from making the same mistake. Now let's get into it. Let me tell you something about this phrase. When a woman leads with this statement, especially early in the relationship, she's not making a confession. She's making an investment. She's planting a seed in your mind that will pay dividends later. Because now, when she does start asking for money, you won't see it coming. After all, she told you she doesn't care about money, right? So this must be different. This must be a genuine emergency. This must be the exception, not the rule. Here's what's really happening psychologically. She's inoculating you against your own skepticism. Think of it like a vaccine, but instead of protecting you, it's disarming you. By declaring up front that she's not materialistic, she's created a shield. Now, if you ever question her financial requests, you're not just questioning her actions, you're calling her a liar. You're suggesting she's exactly like those other girls she claimed to be different from. And what man wants to be the paranoid, untrusting guy who accused his innocent girlfriend of being a gold digger? Let me paint you a real scenario. You meet her. She's charming, down to earth. Maybe she even insists on splitting the first few checks. She tells you stories about her ex who was obsessed with money, how shallow it all was, how she just wants something real. You feel like you've hit the jackpot. Finally, a woman with substance. Fast forward 3 months. Her car breaks down. She needs $1,500. Her rent is short this month, just $500 would help. Her phone is shut off. Her sister needs medical help. 1 request becomes 2, 2 becomes 5. And before you know it, you've spent thousands. But you can't complain because she's not like other girls, remember? She doesn't care about money, so these must all be legitimate needs. The mistake men make with this phrase is taking it at face value. You hear what you want to hear. You want to believe you found the exception, the one woman who isn't impressed by your salary or your car, so you ignore the pattern forming right in front of you. You ignore the fact that someone who genuinely doesn't care about money doesn't need to announce it. They just live it. People who are truly humble don't walk around telling everyone how humble they are. Here's what you need to understand. The woman who actually doesn't care about your money will show you through consistent action, not through early declarations. She'll offer to contribute. She'll be uncomfortable letting you pay for everything. She'll have her own financial stability and won't need you to rescue her from one crisis after another. Words are cheap, especially those words. Actions reveal truth. So what do you do when you hear this phrase? Don't argue. Don't challenge her on it. Simply observe. Make a mental note. Then watch what follows. Does she put her money where her mouth is? Or does she put your money where her needs are? Give it 3 months. If she's truly not materialistic, you'll see independence and reciprocity. If she's running game, you'll see requests, emergencies, and a convenient inability to ever have her finances together despite your repeated help. And when that pattern emerges, you walk, no explanations needed, because she already told you who she wasn't. Her actions just revealed who she is. This is the nuclear weapon of financial manipulation. This phrase is designed to do one thing: make you feel like less of a man unless you comply. It's not a request, it's not even a suggestion, it's a challenge to your very identity. And most men will do almost anything to avoid feeling emasculated, especially by a woman they're trying to impress. Let's break down the psychology here. She's weaponizing traditional gender roles against you. She's taking something that has value, the idea of being a provider, and twisting it into a trap. Because here's what she's not saying: she's not defining what taking care of her actually means. She's leaving that deliberately vague so she can move the goalposts whenever necessary. Today, taking care of her means paying for dinner. Next month, it means covering her rent. Next year, it means buying her a car. The definition expands to match her appetite and your wallet. Notice the framing: a real man, not just any man, a real one. The implication is obvious. If you hesitate, if you question, if you set boundaries around your finances, you're not real, you're defective, you're inadequate. And she knows that most men would rather go broke than be seen as inadequate, especially by a woman they're sleeping with. It's a direct attack on your ego, disguised as a compliment. Let me give you an example of how this plays out. You've been seeing her for a couple months. Things are going well, or so you think. One night, she mentions she's stressed about money. You offer some advice. She waves it off. Then she hits you with it. I just thought a real man would take care of his woman, you know? That's what my dad did for my mom. Now you're boxed in. If you don't step up, you're not like her dad. You're not a real man. You're just another guy who talks a big game but can't deliver. So you reach for your wallet, you cover her problem, and the precedent is set. The trap here is that it's designed to escalate. Once you've established that a real man does X, she can always add Y and Z. A real man pays for dates. Okay, you do that. A real man makes sure his woman doesn't stress about bills. Now you're covering her expenses. A real man buys his woman nice things. Now you're dropping money on designer bags and expensive trips. There's no end point because the definition of a real man becomes whatever she needs it to be in that moment. Here's what most men miss: taking care of someone and being taken advantage of are two completely different things. A man who provides for his woman within the context of a mutual, respectful, committed relationship is admirable. A man who gets bled dry by someone who contributes nothing except sexual access and emotional manipulation is not a provider. He's a mark. And the woman saying this phrase is counting on you not knowing the difference. The mistake men make is accepting her framing. You let her define manhood for you. You let her set the terms of what makes you real or fake, adequate or inadequate. And once you surrender that power, she owns you. Your wallet becomes an extension of her will, and your sense of self becomes dependent on her approval. So here's what you do when this phrase comes up. You flip the script. You calmly say something like, a real woman brings value to a man's life beyond what he can buy her. Like, watch the reaction. If she's a quality woman, she'll respect the boundary. She'll recognize that relationships are about mutual investment, not one-sided extraction. If she's running game, she'll get defensive. She'll accuse you of being cheap, insecure, or not man enough. And that reaction tells you everything you need to know. Thank her for revealing herself and walk away. Because a woman who respects you will never use your manhood as leverage to open your wallet. Phrase number 3, if you really loved me, you would help me. This is the emotional manipulation masterpiece. This phrase doesn't just attack your wallet, it attacks your heart. It questions your feelings, your commitment, your integrity. It turns a financial request into a test of love. And most men will fail that test by passing it. They'll prove their love by sacrificing their financial stability, never realizing that real love would never demand that proof in the first place. The psychology here is insidious. She's creating a false equivalence between money and emotion. She's saying that your love can only be measured by your willingness to financially rescue her, not by your time, your effort, your loyalty, your presence, just money. And if you don't produce it, you don't love her. It's that simple in her narrative. The brilliance of this manipulation is that it makes you defend yourself. You start explaining how much you do love her, listing all the ways you show it. And while you're busy defending your feelings, she's still waiting for the money. Let me show you how this plays out. She comes to you with a problem. Maybe it's legitimate, maybe it's exaggerated, maybe it's completely manufactured. She needs money. You express concern, but you're hesitant. Maybe you've helped before. Maybe you're financially stretched yourself. Maybe you just sense something is off. She sees your hesitation, and this is when she strikes. If you really loved me, you would help me. The sentence hangs in the air like an accusation. Now, you're not just dealing with her problem, you're dealing with your own guilt, your own fear of being seen as cold or uncaring. Here's what makes this so effective. Most men are terrified of being perceived as heartless, especially by women they care about. We're taught to be protectors, to be fixers, to be heroes. So when a woman suggests that refusing her means you don't love her, it hits a primal nerve. You start questioning yourself. Maybe I am being selfish. Maybe this is what love looks like. Maybe I should just help and stop overthinking it. And that internal dialogue is exactly what she's counting on. While you're wrestling with your conscience, she's already spent the money in her mind. The real trap is the pattern. It's never just once. If you give into this phrase, you've taught her that questioning your love works. So she'll use it again and again. Each time the request will get bigger because each time you've proven that this specific form of emotional blackmail is effective. You're not building a relationship. You're building a transactional dynamic where your love is constantly under suspicion unless you're actively proving it with money. Let me be clear about something. Helping someone you love is natural. It's human. It's good. But there's a massive difference between voluntary generosity and emotional extortion. When help is freely given, it strengthens the bond. When help is demanded under threat of withdrawn affection, it poisons everything. Because now you're not helping out of love. You're paying a ransom to avoid being labeled as unloving. That's not a relationship. That's hostage negotiation. The mistake men make here is accepting the premise. You accept that love must be proven financially. You accept that your feelings are in question unless you comply. You accept that she gets to define what real love looks like and you just have to perform it on command. And once you accept that premise, you've lost. Because love becomes a currency and you're always in debt. Here's what you do when you hear this phrase. You recognize it for what it is. Manipulation. Pure and simple. A woman who truly loves you will never weaponize your feelings to get money. She'll never make you choose between your financial well-being and her perception of your love. So you respond with truth. If you really loved me, you wouldn't use my feelings as leverage to get what you want. And then you watch. If she backs down, apologizes, recognizes the manipulation, maybe there's something worth saving. If she doubles down, gets angry, accuses you of not caring, turns herself into the victim of your boundary, you've just been handed a gift. She's shown you exactly who she is. Believe her and leave. Let me recap these 3 phrases for you because you need to have them locked in your memory. Number 1, I'm not like other girls. I don't care about money. That's the setup. That's her establishing plausible deniability before the extraction begins. Number 2, a real man takes care of his woman. That's the pressure. That's her attacking your identity to override your common sense. Number 3, if you really loved me, you would help me. That's the closer. That's her making it personal, making it about your character, your heart, your worth as a partner. These 3 phrases work in sequence. The first disarms you, the second pressures you, the third manipulates you. And if you fall for all 3, you'll wake up 6 months from now wondering how you spent $10,000 on a woman who never once asked what she could do for you. Men, here's the bottom line. You're not an ATM. You're not a safety net. You're not a financial solution to someone else's perpetual crisis. You're a human being with value that extends far beyond your bank account. And any woman who can't see that, any woman who measures your worth by your wallet is not a woman you want in your life. She's an expense you need to cut. I don't care how beautiful she is. I don't care how good the intimacy is. I don't care how lonely you were before you met her. No access to your body or your bed is worth losing your financial stability, your self-respect, or your peace of mind. The woman who is meant for you will add to your life, not subtract from it. She'll bring her own resources, her own stability, her own value. She won't need you to rescue her because she's not drowning. She'll want you because of who you are, not because of what you can provide. So protect yourself. Set boundaries. Watch patterns, not words. And the moment you recognize these phrases, the moment you see the game being played, have the strength to walk away. Your future self will thank you. Your bank account will thank you. And eventually, you'll find a woman who proves that not everyone is playing games. Some women are actually looking for a partner, not a provider. If this video resonated with you, if you've heard these phrases before, if you're finally seeing the pattern you ignored, hit that subscribe button right now. Share this video with every man you know who needs to hear it. And drop your story in the comments. How much did she get from you before you woke up? What was the phrase she used that finally made you see the truth? Your experience could be the wake up call another man desperately needs. Stay sharp out there. Protect your peace. And remember, a woman who truly values you will never make you question your worth by the size of your wallet.